Hello, this is your Good News Roundup, and here are today's positive headlines. The first 3D printed wartime school to be built in Ukraine. A new device that could reduce shark bycatch by 90%. The first woman to referee a men's World Cup match. Rolls-Royce and EasyJet have successfully trialed a green solution for the aviation industry, and lessons from the 95-year-old who won the Best New Artist at the Latin Grammys. Stan Lee, the father of Marvel Comics, didn't create his first superhero until he was nearly 40 years old when he published The Fantastic Four. Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until she was 40. And French artist Paul Cézanne was of a similar age when his work received recognition. And now, a 95-year-old woman, Ángela Álvarez, is the oldest person to be nominated and to win in the category of Best New Artist at the Latin Grammys. She is living proof that it is really never too late to pursue your dreams. Álvarez told Spanish news agency EFE that she began writing songs in 1942 in Cuba with the dream of becoming an artist. But it took her 8 decades to release her first album, publishing her first one just last year, encouraged by her grandson.
Lo que yo pudiera decir es inexplicable, porque lo que yo siento es una cosa tan maravillosa y tan linda y que no puedo encontrar las palabras para yo expresar lo que realmente yo siento. Me siento muy feliz y muy contenta y muy orgullosa de lo que ha ocurrido en mi vida.
Every year, around 100 million sharks, skates and rays are killed as a result of fishing for bluefin tuna. Since the 1970s, global numbers of ocean sharks and rays have declined by 71% because of this practice. But a clever new device should mean that bycatch is drastically reduced. The shark guard emits a short pulse every 2 seconds to repel sharks and rays from fishing hooks. The pulse briefly triggers the electrical sensors around a shark's mouth, causing the fish to swim away.
Sharks and rays are different to fish in that they have receptors in their skin, but essentially they're small gel-filled sacs in and around the nose that are highly sensitive to electric fields. So what we do as engineers and fishery scientists is try and work out, well, okay, if the fish that you don't want to catch is sensitive to electric fields, then maybe we should be investigating electric fields to make sure that we don't catch the sharks, but we do catch the tuna.
In trials, the shark guard has proved to be very effective at reducing the number of sharks and stingrays caught by commercial fishing gear.
We were able to see that the effect of the shark guard reduced the bycatch of sharks, blue sharks in this instance, by 91%, and reduced capture of the pelagic stingray that they catch in that fishery as well by 71%, so highly effective.
Stéphanie Frappart from France has made history as the first woman to take charge of a men's World Cup match when she refereed Costa Rica's game against Germany. Her assistants were Brazilian Neusa Bach and Mexican Karen Diaz Medina, making theirs the first ever all-female referee team to take part in a men's World Cup tournament. Frappart became the first woman to officiate at a men's World Cup qualifier in March and at a Champions League match in 2020.
L'objectif sera toujours la même chose, c'est d'arbitrer, d'être performant sur le terrain, donc vraiment d'entrer avec des émotions vraiment énormes, mais il faudra les canaliser parce que forcément l'important c'est le terrain.
6 women were selected to referee games for the Qatar 2022 World Cup.
I think that we've all been invited here as all similar referees. We have all earned the position to be here, and that's exactly how we feel, one team.
They earned the position by passing the same fitness tests as their male colleagues and being held to the same performance standards. Since the Russian invasion began last February, over 2,000 schools in Ukraine are said to have been damaged or destroyed. Thanks to a pioneering project, however, there is hope that many Ukrainian children will be able to resume their education. Non-profit tech and humanitarian startup Team 4UA is behind this ambitious initiative, which aims to build schools using 3D printers, working with city authorities and various companies who have offered to donate the technology. The foundations of the world's first ever 3D printed school to be built in a war zone have already been laid amid the war-scarred streets of Lviv, which is home to many of the people displaced by the war.
The goal is first to show we can 3D print in a war zone, we can 3D print in Ukraine, and we can give hope for the next move inside the country after the war to rebuild the country. But in parallel of that, we are doing also a 3D printing school to train the next generation to be able to allow them to use this technology.
Britain's Rolls-Royce and EasyJet say they have set a world first for the aviation industry after the successful test of an aircraft engine powered entirely by green hydrogen, created by wind and tidal power. The luxury car maker said the ground test was a major step towards proving that hydrogen could be a zero-carbon aviation fuel of the future. Rolls-Royce and EasyJet are aiming to show that hydrogen can help the aviation industry achieve its goal of reaching net zero by 2050. If you enjoy the Good News Roundup, the most meaningful thing you can do is like this video, leave us a comment, and share it with your friends. And remember, it can be hard to find among the headlines, but some news can be good news.